What's up, guys? We are back with a full slate of MLB action here on Tuesday, April 22nd. We're going to break down every MLB game on the slate. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and starters are confirmed. Yesterday, guys, got off to a little bit of a good start there, to be honest. Had the no-run first inning there in that Cincinnati-Miami game. Unfortunately, after that, things went a little bit south for us. We had the Padres plus 110. It was a bad travel spot for them, but we thought they'd still be okay. They're getting plus money. Unfortunately, Vasquez has a terrible start. They end up losing that game 6-4. We had the under in that St. Louis-Atlanta game, and it was looking good as gold until the last two innings, guys. The 8th and 9th innings, things went absolutely nuts. 8 total runs scored in those 2 innings to make us not cash that one. So unfortunately, 1-3 on the day. We're going to get back on the horse, though. A full slate to break down in this one. So do me a big favor, slam that like button. It's free, helps me a ton, shows your appreciation for all the work we're putting into these videos every single day. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. That'll help keep you from missing our daily videos. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond. If you're looking for NBA picks, get over to stumpthespread.com. We'll have a free NBA pick posted over there under the free picks tab. Also, guys, as always, our videos are sponsored by stumpthespread.com. Click the link in the description to get over there. See our top confidence plays on every major sport. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years in a row, and that is looking like it's going to happen once again this year because we are off to a flying start over there. Once you get to stumpthespread.com, you'll be able to see our exclusive free picks posted over there, including free picks on the NBA games for tonight. You'll also be able to see our premium top confidence plays, which might not always match what you see here in the video. You also need to sign up for our free email newsletter from Stump the Spread that'll get you free picks straight to your inbox, as well as a no-run first inning parlay on most days. Just make sure to check your spam folder. We've been having issues with that every once in a while. If you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members-only giveaways. We are giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member right now, guys. We're about to roll for it here in just a second. Okay, guys, clicking the button. Let's see how this goes. We have 62 channel members, so you've got a 1 in 62 chance. And it looks like the winner is going to be Corey Bruce. Oh, no, Ernest Denny. Ernest Denny, get down there in the comments. Let us know that you, acknowledge that you've won this, that you've been watching the videos, that you're in here, and we will get that hoodie out to you ASAP. Usually takes around a week, maybe up to 2 weeks, depending on where you're located at, but we will get that Stump the Spread hoodie out to you as soon as possible. If you too would like to have a chance to get in on these giveaways, become a channel member. Click that little join button right below the video. You'll also get early access to our videos, and you get your name up on screen in every single video, just like is going on right now. Guys, as always, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the night. We're looking at these New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. Now, quick note before we hop into this game, some interesting information. First off, we've got 5 teams with winning records on the road in the MLB right now. 5 teams, guys. 5 teams. That's it. Only 5 teams in all of Major League Baseball. So 5 out of 30 are winning teams on the road. So definitely got to be shading hard towards those home teams. There are 21 teams with winning records at home. So definitely be shading towards the home teams. Also, in terms of our total plays, there are 5 teams trending with a 60% trend or greater to the over this team. 8 teams with a trend of 60% or under. So that's definitely things we're going to be keeping in mind as we look at these games. And like I said, first up, we've got the Yankees going up against the Guardians. We have a pretty interesting one here, I would say. Man, the Yankees, they lost 6-4 in Game 1 at Cleveland. Not having an amazing time, so far. They've lost 2 out of their last 3, stumbling there a little bit at the end of that series with Tampa Bay, but they did win 3 out of 4. We've seen some injuries, stuff like that. Grisham going on the paternity list. So it hasn't all been smooth sailing for the Yankees, who will hand the ball in this one to Will Warren. The young 25-year-old is off to a 1-0 start, a 5.17 ERA, though probably not exactly what he had in mind. His last outing, he only went 1 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits and a single earned run there. In a game the Yankees eventually won 6-3, but that was not his fault. So yeah, we'll see if he can, we can see a similar start to what he did against San Francisco. A very good outing in 5 innings against them in his last, good start. So we'll see what he can do. Obviously, a little bit worried about that. We'll see what we get out of the bullpen situation here for the Yankees. That's been very reasonable so far this year, honestly. Right now, they're 6th in the majors, a 3.27 bullpen ERA. So that will definitely work. The offense has been a little bit up and down recently. I mean, 4, 4, 8, 1, 6, and 4 runs over their last few games. Obviously, Aaron Judge off to an amazing start. They're second in the majors in runs scored and second in on-base percentage. So we're not worried about this offense, but, they can have their off days here, and they've had some off days recently. We'll see what they do here against the Guardians, who have won their last 4 in a row. They swept the Pirates, opened the series against the Yankees with a win. They're hitting the ball to Tanner Bybee, who's 1-2 this year, a 5.85 ERA. Coming off getting shelled there against Baltimore. Really, he's had 2 great starts and 2 terrible starts. So which version of Tanner Bybee are we going to get? It's a little bit tough to figure that out, guys. We'll see what he does here against the Yankees. We'll see what that Cleveland bullpen can do. They've been pretty good this year, kind of as you would expect. Now, they've had some bumps in the road. They're around 10th in the majors right now with a 3.59 bullpen ERA, but not a bullpen that I'm worried about. The offense definitely figuring stuff out. 6, 5, 3, and 10 runs over the last few games. Stephen Kwan doing his thing. Kyle Manzardo doing his thing out there. He's killing it right now. They're up to 21st in the majors in runs scored, but they're 11th in slugging percentage and 16th in on-base percentage. So I think we can expect those numbers to continue to climb a little bit. The Guardians are actually favored in this game. They're minus 115. The Yankees are minus 105. We've got a total of 8 out there. The Yankees are 6-5 on the road. They're 12, 9, and 2 to the over. Cleveland is 6-1 at home. So yeah, look at that. Another home team with a great record. 11, 9, and 2 to the over. So in terms of the total in this game, I definitely think the over is super, super live. I would say it's my bigger lean in this game, honestly. Now, if you're asking me for a side, I will take Cleveland as a very, very small lean, but nothing significant there. The over, though, has a real chance to end up in the pinned comment in this one. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the Miami Marlins. The Reds come into this game 11-12 on the year. They've won 2-2 over their last 4. But yeah, I mean, they did win that series against Baltimore. They lost game 1 here, 6-3. Got mowed down there by Max Meyer, who's looking great in the early goings. They're hitting the ball to Nick Martinez, who's 0-3 this season, a 6.00 ERA. His starts not exactly going super hot. The Reds are 0-4 in his last 4 times on the mound. He gave up 7 runs and 4 hits in each of his last 2 outings. It's just not looking that hot out there with Nick Martinez on the mound. So we'll see if he can figure things out here against the Marlins. We'll see if this Reds bullpen can continue to be as solid as it's been so far in the early goings. Now, the offensive numbers are obviously going to be extremely skewed for the Reds this season because they had a game where they put up 24 runs there at Baltimore. So crazy stuff, very, very cool, but can you really expect them to, this isn't a very good offensive team. Like, congratulations on putting up 24 runs, but they're just not great offensively. Right now, they're 4th in runs scored. That's cool. They're 13th in batting average and 12th in slugging percentage, and those are numbers that are going to continue to fall. So we'll see what they can do here against the Marlins, who have won their last 2 in a row. They're 10-12 on the season, so a better start than you would think for a team like the Miami Marlins. But they're hitting the ball to Edward Cabrera in this one. He's 0-1, a 6.52 ERA. Both of his starts this season have been a little bit lackluster. Didn't have a great time against the Nationals. It wasn't a disaster, but it wasn't great. And then against the Diamondbacks, 4 innings, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, gave up a home run, walked 3, and struck out 6. So definitely not loving what we're seeing from Cabrera right now. That's looking very, very problematic. So we'll see what we get from him, see what we get from this Miami bullpen that's had its moments this season. But right now, guys, I mean, they're currently sitting a 4.47 bullpen ERA, which is obviously not ideal. Definitely well in the bottom half of the majors. So that's something that's a concern for me as well. The offense, I mean, we've seen Matt Mervis get off to a decent start. They're tied for 16th in the majors in runs scored, but a lot of their numbers are looking much more respectable than that. I mean, they're 3rd in the majors in batting average, batting .260 as a team. They're 9th in on-base percentage. They've scored 6, 7, 10, 2, and 4 runs over their last few games. So not really hating how they're swinging the bats right now. No, Brantley going to the IL, maybe not super helpful, but overall, I think we see the Marlins in a pretty good spot to put up some runs in this game. Now, looking at the numbers, the Reds are minus 125, the Marlins are plus 105. We've got a total of 8.5 out there. Cincinnati's 5-6 on the road, 12, 10, and 1 to the over. Miami 7-7 at home, 15-7 to the over, guys. We love the over in this one as well. Looking at a couple overplays here right off the bat, I think that's very, very reasonable. Now, with Nick Martinez on the mound and, the Reds not really a team I trust too much. I will lean slightly towards Miami at home. Like, we want to be shading towards these home teams, so give me the Marlins at home, but really my main lean in this one is going to be over 8.5. Next on the docket, we're going to the San Diego Padres going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Padres let us down yesterday. We knew about all the injuries and stuff they've got going on, but still thought they had a chance and couldn't quite make it happen. So we'll see if they can run it back here in game 2. They are 16-7 on the year, so having a pretty good time. They're handing the ball to Nick Pivetta, who's had a great start to his season, 3-1, a 1.57 ERA. He dominated the Cubs his last time out. Now, he hasn't faced a lot of very tough offensive teams. I mean, he's faced the Cubs twice, Colorado once, in Atlanta to start the year when they were really struggling. So he hasn't faced a ton of tough competition. We'll see what he can do here against the Tigers. Do they qualify as tough competition at the plate? We'll have to see. Now, this Padres bullpen has been incredible. Best in the majors, a 1.46 bullpen ERA is obviously amazing. We've loved what we've seen from the offense. Fernando Tatis off to a scintillating start. They're 14th in runs scored, but that's a number that's going to get way, way better as they are first in batting average, first in on-base percentage, and fourth there in slugging percentage. So, yeah, not too worried about this offense. They scored 4, 3, 2, 4, and 4 runs over the last few, so cooling off a bit, but I think we'll see them put up some more runs here very, very soon. Now, will that happen in this game against the Tigers, who've won 4 out of their last 5? They're handing the ball in this one to Jack Flaherty, who's 1-1 this year, a 2.53 ERA. His last start was a little bit bumpy there against the Milwaukee Brewers, a team he has some history against, from his time back in the NL Central. But overall this season, he's looked very, very good. A dazzling start there against the Yankees, a very good start to open his year against the Dodgers. Flaherty is seemingly finding his groove. So loving what we're seeing from him. The Detroit bullpen's been fantastic as well. A 2.86 bullpen ERA is obviously very, very good. The offense figuring things out. A pretty bad offense last year, looking much better this year. They've scored 6, 3, 3, 7, and 6 runs over their last few. Kerry Carpenter, Spencer Torkelson, 2 guys off to great starts. They're currently tied for 10th in the majors there in runs scored and 11th in batting average. But really, guys, this team, not going to be a top 10 offense, I don't think, but they're swinging the bats here well early. We'll see if they can keep that up. Looking at the numbers, the Padres are minus 105. The Tigers are minus 115. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. San Diego, 4-6 on the road, 12, 10, and 1 to the under. Detroit, 9-2 at home, 11, 10, and 2 to the under. I think this is a great spot to shade towards the under for sure. We did see 10 total runs scored in game 1, so that can happen for sure. But I think with these 2 starters on the mound, we're going to see offense be very, very much at a premium. I love the no-run first inning in this spot. I think that's very, very reasonable. I love under in the first 5 as well. So really, any underplay that you're interested in on this game, I'm probably going to be on board. Now, in terms of a side, I'm more willing to back Flaherty and the Tigers at home, even though they won game 1 already. I think they're in a good spot for this one, and the Padres are a little bit banged up. But I think this could end up being a no-run first inning or an underplay that ends up in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the Washington Nationals. The Orioles come into this game only 9-12 on the season. They just lost 2 out of 3 against Cincinnati. Not really having a great time, obviously being on the wrong end of a 24-2 blowout. Maybe we see them in something of a bounce-back spot. They're handing the ball to Dean Kremer, who's 2-2 this season, a 6.41 ERA. Now, Bro got off to a terrible start. His last outing was good against Cleveland, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run. So give him some credit there, but not a starter that I've had a ton of faith in this season. The bullpen for Baltimore had been looking pretty good. Obviously, they've taken their lumps here recently. A 4.59 bullpen ERA, though. I don't think that's going to be the end of the world, and I don't think that accurately reflects this bullpen, but we'll see. The offense obviously has been the big drop-off for them this season. They're still 6th in the majors in slugging percentage, but 12th in runs scored and 16th in batting average is not going to get the job done. Cedric Mullins off to a great start, but I don't know, guys. I'm not as excited about this offense as I was a year ago, so we'll see what they can do here against the Nationals, who are 9-13 on the year. They just won 2 out of 3 there against the Rockies. We'll see if that sparks something here. They're only 9-13 on the year. Handing the ball to Mitchell Parker, who's been very good, though. 2-1, a 1.85 ERA. He dominated the Pirates his last time out. 6 innings, 4 hits, only gave up a single earned run, but the Nationals managed to lose the game 6-1 because their bullpen is horrible. A 7.19 bullpen ERA has them worst in the majors by a large margin, and this offense, while it's shown some signs of life, not nearly good enough to out-hit that bad of a bullpen. 23rd in slugging percentage, 20th in on-base percentage, 18th in runs scored, and we've seen guys like Ruiz, James Wood, and Nathaniel Lowe all get off to pretty decent starts, but this is not a great Nationals team. So looking at the numbers, I'm a little bit surprised to see the Orioles are only minus 135. The Nationals are plus 115. We've got a total out there of 9. Baltimore, 4-6 on the road, 13, 5-3 to the over. That's an MLB best mark to the over. Washington, 5-4 at home, 12-10 to the over. I'm going to go ahead and take the Baltimore Orioles in this one. Now, I don't know how the first 5 is going to go. Mitchell Parker could go out there and mow him down, but as soon as that Nationals bullpen's in there, I think Baltimore is in for some hitting practice, and they are going to take advantage. So definitely give me the Orioles at minus 135 in this one. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Seattle Mariners going on the road to take on the Boston Red Sox. The Mariners come into this game fresh off winning 2 out of 3 there at Toronto. Now they're, at Fenway taking on the Red Sox, so we'll see how that goes. They're handing the ball to Bryce Miller, who's 1-2 this year, a 3.43 ERA, but over his last couple starts, seems like the young guy has found his legs because he's looking great out there. 5 innings in each start. Gave up a grand total of 1 earned run total over those 2 starts and over those 10 innings. So very, very good stuff against Cincinnati and against Texas. We'll see if he can have similar success here against the Red Sox. The bullpen for Seattle's been very, very good. A 3.30 bullpen ERA has them, 6 or 7, something like that in the majors. So no complaints there. And all of a sudden, guys, the Mariners have an offense. 8, 1, 11, and 5 runs over their last few games. Crazy stuff. Cal Raleigh hitting the cover off the ball right now. They're tied for 12th in the majors in runs scored, and it looks kind of real, honestly. I mean, their on-base percentage is 13th in the majors. That's not too bad. So liking a lot of what we're seeing right now, for sure. So a lot of good stuff coming out of the Mariners here as they take on the Red Sox, who just won 3 out of 4 there against the White Sox. We'll see how if that translates into anything positive down the stretch. I mean, everybody's going to beat the White Sox. They're hitting the ball to Brian Bello, who comes into this game 14-8 on the year last season. Now, he's coming off the IL. This will be his first start of the year, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Coming off of an injury can be a little bit weird. A guy that I have faith in to some extent. He's only 25 years old, though, and this is his first start of the year. So definitely somebody I would approach with a little bit of concern. Now, the bullpen for Boston also definitely room for concern. A 4.47 bullpen ERA is far below MLB average, and the offense mustered 4, and 10 runs there against the White Sox. Not exactly instilling a ton of optimism. So yeah, a little bit concerned about that. Now, the offense has done some positive stuff over the course of the year. I mean, they're 7th in the majors in runs scored. They've got guys like Trevor Story hitting the ball well out of the gate, but I'm just not thrilled with how they're swinging the bats at the moment. So we'll see what they can do here. The numbers, guys, the Mariners are plus 115. The Red Sox are minus 135. We've got totals out there of 9 or 9.5. Seattle's 4-5 on the road, 10-2 to the over-under. Boston is 7-4 at home, 13-9-2 to the under, but I'm not playing an under in this game with Brian Bello on the mound, and to be honest, I'm not backing the Red Sox either. Give me the Mariners at plus 115. Bryce Miller throwing the ball really, really well recently. The Mariners are hitting the ball really well, and they're about to face a young 25-year-old pitcher making his first start of the season, so definitely think this is a good spot to back Seattle, and the Seattle Mariners could end up being our dog of the day. We're going to pick out our one favorite underdog bet each day here in the MLB, with the Mariners having a very real chance to be our favorite dog of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The Phillies 13-10 to start their year, but they lost game 1 of this series 5-4. Lindor hitting a couple home runs there for the Mets, kind of crushing there for the Phillies, who are handing the ball to Christopher Sanchez in this one. He's off to a pretty good start, 2-0 to start the year, a 2.96 ERA. Now, his last start, bro, was killing it out there against San Francisco. 12 strikeouts, 7 innings pitched, gave up 2 earned runs, but 3 runs overall on 4 hits. He did give up a home run in the game. It was eventually a 6-4 win there for the Phillies, and we did see the Phillies win all 4 games that he has started this year. So positive stuff there for Sanchez. Now, the bullpen is a whole different situation. The Phillies have the 2nd worst bullpen ERA in the majors, so that is a big, big problem. Going to have to do something to address that. The offense has been good, but hasn't been good enough to outpitch that kind of hit that kind of bullpen. Kind of feels like no. Schwarber's up to 7 home runs and 16 RBIs, so that's nice, but 8th in the majors in runs scored, 8th in batting average, 16th in slugging percentage. There's some work left to do for this offense, especially if the bullpen and kind of the pitching staff in general is going to be kind of mediocre. So we'll see what they can do here against the Mets, who come into this game 16-7 on the year. They're red hot, winners of their last 5 in a row after sweeping the Cardinals there. So yeah, the Mets looking pretty good. Handing the ball to Griffin Canning, who's 2-1 this season, a 3.43 ERA. He's had has like one rocky start on his slate this year. Had a rough time there at the Athletics, but his last time out against the Cardinals, 6 innings, 3 hits, gave up a single earned run in that game, struck out 8 and walked 2. So I think we can safely say he's throwing the ball well. Now, how will he do against the Phillies? That could be a little bit tough. Obviously tougher than facing the Cardinals, but I like what I'm seeing from Canning in terms of the bullpen situation for the Mets. That's looking fantastic. 3rd best in the majors in terms of bullpen ERA. The offense obviously hitting the ball well here on this winning streak, scoring 5, 7, 3, 5, and 4 runs respectively. Francisco Lindor hitting the ball great. Pete Alonso hitting the ball great. They're still only 19th in the majors in runs scored, so work still to do here for the Mets. We'll see what they can do at the plate. Looking at the numbers, this game is tilted towards the Phillies at minus 130. The Mets are plus 110. We've got a total of 8 out there. The Phillies are 4-6 on the road, 12-11 to the over. The Mets are 10-1 at home. 15-8 to the under. Guys, the Mets are underdogs at home. I know Sanchez has been great, but the Phillies bullpen's been horrendous. I'm leaning towards the Mets here at plus 110. Now, this is a very small underdog, but an underdog nevertheless, and that could possibly qualify them to be our underdog of the day. Next up, guys, we're looking at the lowly Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The White Sox are only 5-17 on the season, so not having a great time. They just lost 3 out of 4 at Boston. Now they got to head to Minnesota to take on the Twins. They're giving the ball to Davis Martin. He's 1-2 this year, a 4.84 ERA. His last start was against the Athletics. He went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 8 hits, 4 earned runs, and a couple of home runs. So not exactly an amazing start, obviously. He's had a couple positive outings against the Angels and against the Boston Red Sox, but those were both at home, and this is going to be on the road. So we'll see if he can muster up something decent, see if that White Sox bullpen can figure itself out. A 4.28 bullpen ERA, though, a number that I expect to get much worse. And the White Sox offense is the worst in the majors pretty much, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. This team is terrible. They're taking on the Minnesota Twins, who are only 7-15 on the season. They just got swept by the Atlanta Braves, so that probably stings a little bit. They're going to be hitting the ball to Bailey Ober, who's 1-1 this season, a 6.16 ERA. Now, after getting off to a terrible start, getting shelled by the Cardinals, he had back-to-back good starts before getting shelled a little bit, knocked around, I'll say, not shelled, knocked around a little bit by the Mets. Now, it was eventually a 6-3 win there for the Twins. He went 5 innings, gave up 3 earned runs and 2 home runs while striking out 5 over 6 1/3, so not a disaster. And now he gets to face the White Sox. Probably a spot you can feel pretty confident if you're Bailey Ober. Now, the bullpen situation for the Twins has been decent, not great. I would say they're about MLB average, a 3.69 bullpen ERA. The offense has been problematic, guys. 2, 3, and 4 runs, respectively, in their series there at Atlanta. Not great. Nobody's hitting the ball particularly well for them here out of the gate. They're 26th in runs scored and 27th in batting average. So looking at the numbers, the White Sox are plus 200. The Twins are minus 250. We've got a total of 8.5. Chicago's only 1-9 on the road, though. They're 11-9-2 to the under. Minnesota's 4-5 at home, 11-8-3 to the under. I'm not taking the under, even though both teams are just showing trends in that direction. I'm going to lean here towards the Twins, though. It's minus 250, so this isn't a great spot. And I don't really trust them enough for them to be our massive lock of the day. Now, we're going to be running one lock of the day out there. It could be a massive favorite. This is just one, regardless of price tag, that I think is great to win. Not going to be a great payout, but it's a pick that I expect to cash a huge majority of the time. So the Twins at minus 250, probably not going to make it in there. I just don't trust them enough, if I'm being honest. Next on the dock, we're looking at another play that has a chance to be our massive favorite lock of the day. We're looking at the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. Now, the Rockies have been terrible this year. 4-17 on the season. They just lost 2 out of 3 against the Nationals. They're hitting the ball to Ryan Feltner, who's done some positive things. He's 0-1 this year, a 4.82 ERA. Now, his last start was bad. He got knocked around by the Dodgers, but that's going to happen to a lot of teams. Besides the Dodgers, he's got starts against Milwaukee, Sacramento, the Athletics, and the Tampa Bay Rays, and he hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any of those games. The Rockies are only 1-3 in games he's started this year, so, not all his fault, though. I'm going to give him a little bit of credit. Not all his fault. Now, the bullpen for the Rockies is looking atrocious, as you would expect. 4.16 bullpen ERA, a number I expect to get even worse, and the offense has not been great. They scored 3, 2, 11, 7, and 2 runs respectively. So they're hitting the ball better than you would think, but they're still 27th in the majors in runs scored and 26th there in batting average. So not a team I'm in love with. They're taking on the Kansas City Royals, who've gotten off to a very slow start. They just had a 6-game losing streak, which they snapped with a win there at Detroit, a 4-3 win. So they'll definitely take that, but it took extra innings and a sacrifice fly there in the 10th. So yeah, not easy stuff. They're hitting the ball in this one to Chris Bubich. He comes into this game 2-1 on the year, a 1.88 ERA. His last couple of starts haven't looked quite as dominant, but he was at Cleveland and at the Yankees, so I'll cut you a little bit of slack there, but overall we've liked what he's done this season. Now, the bullpen for the Royals, also very solid, a 3.63 bullpen ERA. The problem and what has held this team back has been their complete lack of offense, their lack of power hitting. I mean, Salvador Perez leads the team with 2 home runs, and bro, while being a great catcher, is batting only 182 on the year. They're 28th in batting average, dead last in slugging percentage, and 29th in runs scored. So you're gonna have to find some offense somewhere if you're the Royals. So yeah, the odds makers love the Royals here, but I don't love them enough to make them my super huge favorite. That is the lock of the day. The Rockies are plus 180. The Royals are minus 215. We've got a total of 8.5. The Rockies are only 1-11 on the road. They're 13-7-2 to the under. The Royals 6-4 at home, 14-8-2 to the under. Do you want to take under 8.5? I guess you can. We've got big trends pointing towards it, so I can't argue too much there. And both pitchers look pretty good. So, my main lean in this game is going to be the over. I'm staying away from the side. I will take the Royals if you're forcing me, but the under 8.5 is my main play on this one. Next up, guys, we're looking at a couple teams that it feels like have spent a lot of time playing baseball games against each other already this season. We're looking at the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. The Dodgers come into this game 16-7 on the year. We did see Glasnow leave that start with leg cramps. That was a little bit weird, but the Dodgers do end up with a 1-0 win and, winning 2 out of 3 there against the Rangers. At the Rangers, probably doesn't feel too bad. Now, they got to take on the Cubs at Wrigley Field after already losing 2 out of 3 against the Cubs, including a 16-0 blowout that had to be a little bit embarrassing. The Dodgers handing the ball in this one to Justin May. He's 1-1 with a 1.06 ERA. He's only made 3 starts this year. He is one of the few Dodgers starters that haven't faced the Cubs this season. Now, his last outing, he dominated the Rockies. He had a little bit of trouble there with the Nationals, and he dominated the Atlanta Braves to start his year. So, loving what we're seeing from Dustin May here. What will he do against the Cubs? That's a bit up in the air, but I expect good stuff from him. I also expect good stuff from the Dodgers bullpen, a 3.54 bullpen ERA, nothing to turn your nose up at. Now, the offense has fallen off a bit. They've scored 1, 3, and 3 runs in that series against the Rangers. Now, they did get a lot of hits, get a lot of runs across the plate there against the Rockies, but some guys just aren't hitting it as well as you would expect. Like Teoscar Hernandez only batting .250 on the year. Tommy Edman has cooled off a bit. Ohtani's only batting .277. Now, they're still 10th in the majors in runs scored and 7th in slugging percentage, so they're going to be fine, but maybe just not hitting the cover off the ball the way I would have expected. And they may not do that in this game either. They're taking on the Cubs, who come into this one just winning 2 out of 3 there against Arizona. They did lose the last game of that series 3-2. They're 14-10 on the year, and they're handing the ball to their ace, Shota Imanaga. He's 2-1 this year, a 2.22 ERA. His last start was a dazzling one. He only went 5 innings, so maybe not dazzling, but 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. It was unearned there against the San Diego Padres. He did give up a home run in that game, walked 3, struck out 7. So pretty good stuff there. He's had a couple very good starts against very good teams. And then against the Dodgers, he was lights out. Now, that was all the way back on the 18th of March. So, yeah, not exactly a normal start, but he went 4 innings, gave up no runs. It was a 4-1 loss there for the Cubs, but gave up no runs, walked 4, and struck out 2. So I'm expecting good stuff from Imanaga in this game, especially to open the game. No doubt about that. The Cubs bullpen, I haven't necessarily gotten super jazzed up about the bullpen. They're bottom 4 in the majors, so that's pretty rough. The offense has done some very good stuff, much better than I would have expected. They're still 1st in the majors in runs scored, 6th in the majors in batting average. Now, they've got some big outlier numbers. They put up a 13 spot in a game. They put up a 16 spot in a game. They put up a 10 spot in a game. But when you've scored in double figures this many times, like maybe you're just that good at the plate. I mean, we've seen Michael Busch hit the ball really well, batting over 300. Carson Kelly with his 6 home runs. Kyle Tucker's got 23 RBIs and 6 home runs and is batting 300. So, yeah, a lot of very good hitters there for the Cubs. Now, how will they fare against Dustin May? We'll see. We'll see how will they fare against that very good Dodgers bullpen. We'll have to see that as well. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Dodgers are -120. The Cubs are +100. We've got a total of 8.5 or 8. You can find both numbers out there still. The Dodgers are 4-5 on the road. They're 12-11 to the under. The Cubs are 6-3 at home, 14-8-2 to the over. I'm not interested in taking an over with these 2 pitchers on the mound and these 2 bullpens, although I do worry about the Cubs. Now, this is an interesting spot, guys. This is a very interesting spot. And I think what we want to do to kind of swerve and avoid that Cubs bullpen, I think we just want to go ahead and take the Cubs here in the first 5. Now, that means Imanaga's got to be very good, and the Cubs have to score some runs off of Dustin May. But I think that's very, very possible. So, yeah, we're going to side with the Cubs here in the first 5. I think they find a way to get the job done early, and this way we don't have to care about whether their bullpen implodes or not. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. Game 1 of the series did not go the Blue Jays' way. They got shut out there 7-0, so not great. They're going to be handing the ball in this one to Chris Bassett, though, who's been off to a dazzling start. This veteran 36-year-old right-hander killing it out there, 2-0, a 0.77 ERA. His last outing, he struck out 10 over 5 innings, gave up 3 hits and no runs against the Atlanta Braves, and what was eventually a 3-1 win there for the Blue Jays. So he's doing everything he can to put this team in a position to win, and boy, is he doing a lot. He has been absolutely dealing out there, so you love to see that if you're a fan of, a veteran arm. The bullpen for Toronto has also been serviceable, not great, but serviceable. A 3.69 bullpen ERA is okay. the offense has been a problem. They've scored 0, 3, and 4 runs respectively over their last few games. George Springer's hitting the ball well, that's for sure, but they're still only tied for 21st in the majors in runs scored. They just haven't been good at getting the runners across the plate. They're 4th in batting average, 6th in on-base percentage, getting on base at a .333 clip. They're just not scoring a ton of runs, so maybe this is a bounce-back spot for them going up against the Astros, who are 11-11 on the year. They've won 3 out of their last 4. They're hitting the ball to Ronel Blanco, who's only 1-2 this season, a 6.48 ERA. Not what we're used to seeing from him. Now, his last outing was okay, but it was against the Cardinals. 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 earned runs. Not exactly amazing. I start before that against the Angels, 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. He's given up at least 1 home run in each of his last 2 outings, so I'm just not sold right now on Blanco. Now, the bullpen for Houston's been very good. They're top 4 in the majors right now with a 2.80 bullpen ERA. The offense has been a problem for this team as well. They're 24th in the majors in runs scored and 24th in batting average. They're 27th in slugging percentage, and yeah, nobody's really hitting the ball great. I mean, Jose Altuve hitting 300 with 3 home runs, but nobody hitting the ball particularly well. So definitely room for concern here for the Astros, who come into this game as -110 slight favorites. The Blue Jays are -105. We've got a total of 8. Toronto's 4-6 on the road, 13-9-1 to the under. Houston 7-6 at home, 12-8-2 to the under. Now, with trends pointing towards the under here, you could think about it with a number of 8. I don't know if I love it. If it was 8.5, maybe you could talk me into it, I suppose, but maybe going to stay away from that total. If you want it, though, shade towards the under. I think Toronto at -105 with Bassett on the mound is very reasonable value here. The Houston just offense not there. They are coming off a game where they scored 7 runs. I don't expect them to replicate that. So definitely give me a good hard look at the Blue Jays here at -105. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. The Pirates just got swept there against Cleveland, and that was a home series for the Pirates, so that probably stings. They're hitting the ball to Bailey Falter. He's 1-2 this year, a 4.91 ERA. His last start was a dazzling one. His best start of the season by far he went up against Washington, gave up no runs on 2 hits over 7 innings. In a game we eventually saw the Pirates win, what was it, 6-1? Yes, 6-1. So dominant stuff there. Can he back that up? We'll see. He had a good season last year. He got off to a rough start this year. So we'll see what happens. The Pirates bullpen, strictly middle of the road. Don't love them. Don't love the offense at all, guys. 4, 0, 7, 1, and 6 runs over their last few games. They're 23rd in the majors in runs scored, second to last in the majors in batting average. This just is not a good offensive team. So we'll see what they can do here against the Angels, who are 11-10 on the year. They won 2 out of 3 against the San Francisco Giants, which is very solid. They're hitting the ball to Jose Soriano. He's 2-2 this year, a 3.16 ERA. His last start did not look good at the Rangers, though, guys. 5 innings, 5 2/3 innings, 10 hits, 3 earned runs allowed. He struck out 2 and walked 2. What was eventually a 3-1 loss there for the Angels. So we'll see if he can bounce back a little bit here against the Pirates. Not a very dangerous offensive team. The bullpen situation for the Angels this year, while it has maybe slightly improved from last year, is very bad. Bottom 3 in the majors, a 5.37 bullpen ERA. The offense has found some life. Mike Trout has stayed healthy so far. He's got 8 home runs and 16 RBIs, but he's only batting 184. They're 20th in the majors in runs scored, 21st in batting average, 8th in slugging percentage, though, so I guess that's nice. Neto is back for the Angels, so after his offseason surgery, so that's a plus, but I'm a little bit worried here about the Angels as huge favorites. They're -185. The Pirates are +154. We've got a total of 8.5. Now, the Pirates are only 2-8 on the road this year, 12-10-1 to the under. The Angels 4-2 at home in a 500 over-under team. I'm going to side here just slightly with the Pirates at +154. Now, this is not going to be the dog of the day. No chance out there. But I do think, the Pirates at +154 has some juice to it, especially since, Soriano hasn't been lights out this season and, the Angels bullpen is atrocious. In our last game of the night, guys, we're going to look at the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road here to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now, the Rays come into this game, guys, 9-13 on the year. They just lost 3 out of 4 against the Yankees, so things are looking a little bit bleak. They're going to be handing the ball to my twin brother, Zach Littell. He's 0-4 this year, a 5.48 ERA, and yeah, I got to get out there and give my bro some tips because it's looked a little bit rough. He did take my advice there against Boston, threw the ball much, much better. 6 innings, 5 hits, only a single earned run allowed. Now, unfortunately, he got exactly 0 runs of support, but that was by far his best start of the year. I guess that or his first start of the season, but I would say a 1-run outing there against Boston is much better than a 1-run outing against Colorado. So liking what we're seeing from Zach Littell. Hopefully he can have a better outing or another good outing here. We'll see what he can do. We'll see what kind of support he gets from the bullpen when he eventually has to come out of the game. Now, the Tampa Bay bullpen has been very respectable this year, a 3.35 bullpen ERA. certainly solid. The offense, though, has disappeared. They've scored 0, 10, 0, 3, and 0 runs over the last few. That's not going to get the job done, guys. They're 16th in the majors in runs scored, 5th in batting average, 10th in slugging, and on base percentage. So there's really not a whole lot of reason they shouldn't be able to put up a few runs, but it's been a struggle this year. Absolutely. So we'll see what they can do here against a team that does not generally struggle to score runs in the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're 13-9 this season. They're having a pretty good time. They just did lose 2 out of 3 there at Wrigley Field. They're hitting the ball to Brandon Pfaadt, who's off to a great start this year. The young 26-year-old right-hander is 3-1 with a 3.04 ERA. His last start was at Miami, and he was very good. He did give up 5 hits in 5 2/3 innings, but only a single earned run while striking out 6. They'll definitely take that. We also see that Arizona is 3-0 over his last 3 starts. Things are pointed in the right direction here for Brandon Pfaadt. Now, that Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen is starting to show that it's not actually amazing. A 4.38 bullpen ERA is more what you would expect to see from this pen. The offense has struggled a little bit. They did have a game where they scored 11 there at Wrigley Field, but they lost 13-11. It just hasn't been quite on fire. Now, they're still 3rd in the majors in runs scored and 4th in the majors in on-base percentage, so we're not going to freak out. I think this is still going to be an excellent, excellent offensive team. We see Naylor off to a good start, Corbin Carroll off to a good start, so yeah, this is going to be a good offensive team. Don't worry about that. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Rays are plus 130, the Diamondbacks are minus 155. We've got a total of 9 out there. Tampa Bay is 0-3 on the road, and my twin brother, guys, his only road start this year was at Texas, and he did not do very well. So that's a bit concerning. The Diamondbacks are minus 155, like I was saying. Arizona's 6-4 at home, and they're a 500 over/under team. I'm going to be leaning towards the Diamondbacks here at minus 155. Unfortunately, for my twin brother, I don't think he's going to have it in this one. I think he's going to struggle. Give me Brandon Pfaadt to get the win in this game as well. I think that's very reasonable, but overall, I will just side with the Diamondbacks here at minus 155. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Hope you guys will enjoy here. We're going to be adding in 2 new bet categories. First up is going to be the dog of the day. We're going to have one underdog pick that's our favorite underdog pick of that slate. We're also going to have one massive, huge favorite lock of the day, which is going to be some probably very big favorite, but a bet that we expect, well, it's probably not high value, to cash at a extremely high frequency. So check for those in the pinned comment along with all of our other favorite plays for the day. Also, if you're looking for NBA plays, get over to stumpthespread.com and check that free picks tab. That's where you'll find our best NBA leans for these games today. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for more sports betting action.